Well, a good question, Jerry. And you'll notice I didn't even mention that with my four tenets. I could have, and it's an important idea, the age of the earth. It's not a dry, dusty topic. There's a lot of implications to it. But the thing about when you get into the age of the earth, when you say the earth is only thousands of years old, that is such an extreme difference to what most people hear that they can't really comprehend it. And certainly to someone with a scientific mind, where are you coming from? So it's important, but I think you have to be ready for it. It's like it's not just easy going. It's not milk, it's meat, and it's vital. But you do get into that sooner or later, and it is important. So where do we come up with this idea of an Earth being much younger than is often said? Instead of billions of years, only thousands, which is a lot of zeros different. Well, when you can look at data around us, like radiometric dating of rocks and minerals, it comes down to interpretation again, and you can take different views, and you can interpret that data one way or the other. So that's the kind of thing we work on. But really, the bottom line, where we come up with the idea of young Earth creation, is not from science at all. It's coming from a direct, literal view of Scripture. When you get into the early chapters of Genesis, there are lists of the patriarchs, of the people that lived, and it gives their ages from father to son and the next generation. And the numbers are given there for the ages, and you can actually add those together. And this is, for instance, in Genesis chapter 5 and 11. It lists the names from Adam to Noah. And when you put those together, there's 10 generations there. Actually, from Adam to Noah, you end up with about 1,500 years. Then over in Genesis chapter 11, you can take it from Adam up to Abraham. And then in our own history, you can take from Abraham till today. When you do this, when you add these numbers together, and there's some uncertainty because of the interpretation of the scripture and those names and whether one name was skipped or whatever, what you end up with is plus or minus 6,000 years. And so this is where our view is coming from instead of millions. And you say, well, can you do that anymore? And the question would be, why would God give us those genealogy lists and their ages unless he wants us to do the math and add them together to see what history is like? And you can't get in a lot of time even before Adam. In the New Testament, the Lord talks about Adam as being from the very beginning, from our first person. And so there it starts fresh with the creation week and with that creation. So that's where we end up. Now, we don't know whether it's exactly 6,000 years of history, plus or minus hundreds of years one way or the other, but not millions or billions. So that's where this is really coming from. And we're constrained by those ages mentioned in Scripture. And then we look at nature to see how that's possible. And you run into some real challenges. We see stars that are a long ways away, and it seems like it would take a long time for that light to get here.